Nintendo is no stranger to spin-offs. We got the Hyrule Warriors games, Mario Kart, and more recently Splatoon Raiders. However, Splatoon Raiders isn't quite like the past spin-offs we've had. Why is that? Why is Splatoon Raiders the best Nintendo spin-off, and why should future spin-offs from Nintendo take from this one? Well, we can answer this with one simple word: continuity. But more specifically in this case, continuity of gameplay. So, to explain what I mean, I'll be using the Hyrule Warriors spin-offs as a comparison to Splatoon Raiders. Let's look more in depth into Hyrule Warriors. What makes it feel connected to the main series? Well, here's the problem: there isn't much. Hear me out. Hyrule Warriors is a hack and slash game, whereas the main Zelda franchise is an action-adventure game. These two genres basically have nothing to do together, and it's pretty clear in Hyrule Warriors that exploration isn't present. It's fight after fight, and you might say that the main series also has combat, and yes, that is true, but it's the context around these fights that matters in this case. Hyrule Warriors has a main focus in combat, whereas the main series doesn't, so the combat had to be drastically changed, and yes, it's the case for all three of the Hyrule Warriors games. We get as a result no exploration, and then a combat system that has nothing to do with the series it's based upon. Now, this would be fine if these mechanics that are expanded on made it into the mainline games. But no. Instead, we get a weird relationship where the Hyrule Warriors games only exist for story, while taking some elements from the main series, and then giving nothing back in terms of gameplay. The main series lives independently of the Hyrule Warriors games, but those are dependent of the mainline games, so overall they just feel very disconnected. Now this does not mean they are bad games, but they could ditch the Zelda elements and we wouldn't see an impact on the main series. Then, how exactly does Splatoon Raiders fix this? First of all, Splatoon Raiders is built on the engine of Splatoon 3, so at its core it's the same game. Movement is the same, it looks the same. So far it doesn't seem that good. However, what makes this game particularly good is the actual structure of the game and the ideas it introduces. So, if you're unfamiliar with Splatoon, basically the last two mainline games have this mode called Salmon Run, where your goal is to defeat boss salmonids to collect their eggs and bring them back to a basket. An overall pretty fun PvE mode inside of a game based on PvG. But with how many other modes there are in these games, Salmon Run sometimes just feels neglected and has a lot of missed potential. Well, guess what? Splatoon Raiders is a full game solely based on Salmon Run. This is what is so good about it. It takes a good but underdeveloped idea of the main series and makes a whole game out of it. Now, we don't have any info on Splatoon 4 yet, so I might be wrong on this next part. However, I strongly think that the mechanics that were introduced in Splatoon Raiders will make their way to the main series. Namely, some of the gadgets and the new boss salmonids. This means that Splatoon Raiders actively will have helped the main series by introducing new mechanics. It's especially the fact that both Splatoon 3 and Raiders felt the same that we know how well these mechanics would work in the main series, and overall also helps keep Raiders in the continuity of the main series. It feels like Splatoon, therefore it's easier to connect it to Splatoon. By the way, if you are enjoying this content, don't forget to like and subscribe for some more Zelda, Splatoon, and Nintendo content. Now, to Hyrule Warriors' credit, they have made some very interesting stories for the world of Zelda, and have had some very fun moments. But what's the point of experimenting with another genre if you won't take anything of it to improve the main genre that the main series uses? They are fine as standalone games, but bring nothing to the mainline games. And that's the issue. The same can be said of Mario Kart. The kart racing genre has not helped the main 3D and 2D games. Nintendo spin-offs end up just feeling very disconnected from the main franchises because they are entirely separate, but they don't have to be. Well, what could some spin-offs be like then? I want to propose a Zelda spin-off idea based off of Tears of the Kingdom and using that game's engine. How about you take the Sky Islands and Ultra Hand, then make a whole game out of it. So what this could look like is a big spiral of separated Sky Islands, all getting increasingly high, and your goal is to build more and more complex machines to get up there to then explore the islands to find some new Zonai parts that will help you get higher. This idea keeps intact the exploration part of the main franchise, while building on a fairly underutilized mechanic from the original game, and also exploring more unique sky islands to just show how far this idea can be taken. Note that what I mean by underutilized is the lack of some parts for building and the pretty restricted parts limit. Now obviously this game would also need an original story connected to Tears of the Kingdom. My example isn't perfect, and I'd love to hear some of your ideas in the comments below, but this is what I think spin-offs should be like. If they then made a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom, which they won't, at least I hope not, these mechanics could make a return, but this time being much more interesting. Will Nintendo continue to make spin-offs like Splatoon Raiders? Probably not, but I guess this will make Raiders unique. I do hope Nintendo will try to make some more experiences like this, as it will make for some fantastic side games to play while we wait for the big mainline games. Anyways, please tell me what you think about this topic in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.